What's up, guys? It's Rip City Rundown, and what a win last night for the Portland Trail Blazers. Today in this video, I just wanted to do my complete in-depth analysis, reaction, just all my thoughts about that game last night, because that was one of the best Blazer games I've seen in a while. It's one of the loudest times I've ever seen Moda in a while. It's been a couple years since it's been that loud, due to a mix of COVID and the fact we've been bad, but that game last night was absolutely electric. So many things I want to talk about. I don't even know if I can fit all of them in the video. Let's start off with the finish. Anfernee Simon, the sky hook over Mikal Bridges to win the game. I mean, look at this picture right here. The man got up, and I really don't know what to say. The fact that Damian Lillard had the trust in Anfernee Simons to go out and make that shot is amazing. It's simply amazing. Let me see if I can pull up the quote of Dame. He said, "I told him, I trust you. Put your big boy pants on. You got the big contract. You got the game." And I think that's so big of Damian Lillard to let Simons take that shot, and that's so big of Simons to have the stones to hit that shot. Simon struggled all night. I think he was like 4-15 going into that shot. He only had 14 points. He could not find his shot, but honestly, he probably hit the two biggest shots of the game. The one near the end of regulation with about a minute left to take the lead by one, and then obviously the game winner at the end. Let's do a quick box score check and just talk about how well all these guys played. Let's start with Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, player of the game, 41 points, 12 of 25 from the field, 5 of 12 from three, perfect from the line on 12 attempts, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Vintage Dame was back. All those people saying that Dame was going to take a step back, was a little washed, doesn't look that good. We saw the burst. We saw the explosiveness tonight. There's nothing different than any of the other years. Dame is there, and Dame is here, and Dame is him. So, what a performance from Dame. Don't need to say anything more. He is the engine of this team. There's no doubt about it. Shout out to Nurkic. Yusuf Nurkic, 20 points, 17 rebounds. What a game from Nurk. We talked about Nurk in the last podcast about how disappointed we were in his performance in Game 1. He wasn't even on the floor in the closing lineup, but he played some of his best basketball in the last couple years in that final 5 minutes and then overtime. He had a solid game, a very solid game for the first 3.5 quarters. You'd think like 9 points, 11 rebounds. Didn't do anything terribly, but didn't do anything great. Aiden was having a good game against him, but that final 5 minutes and overtime, Nurkic was huge. 20 points, 17 rebounds. I mean, that is a huge performance from Nurkic. He played hard defense. He played like he had something to prove, which is I don't always see that from Nurkic, and I saw that from this whole team tonight. Anfernee Simons, like I said, struggled tonight from the floor. Really struggled. Only ended up with 16 points, 5 of 17 from the field. But he hit the biggest shot of the night, and that's all that matters in a win. And then it was really, other than Dame, we didn't have much scoring, but Josh Hart, we'll give him a quick shout out, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Jeremy Grant, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Again, the starters just played valiant defense. Like this team is playing defense. There were some matchup zones throughout the night that Chauncey elected with. And then just the effort down the stretch is something that we don't see often out of a Blazer team. Only giving up 111 points in an overtime game, that's extremely impressive. Again, our best defensive quarter was the fourth quarter, only gave up 23 points, just like the game against the Kings. So we lock down and get in our defensive stance and play hard defense and sound defense when it comes to crunch time. So that's huge. And then Chauncey Billups, another coaching masterclass. He knew when to go to the certain guys. He knew when to go to the matchup zone. He knew exactly what he was doing. Chauncey Billups is checking every single box so far through 2 games this season. Shout out to the bench guys. Justice Winslow, only 4 points, but 2 steals and a block. He again played 24 minutes. He is that guy that if you just need a guy that's going to be steady, going to play really, really good defense, and then make the right play all the time, Justice Winslow is your guy. He's been amazing so far this year. Sharp off the bench, didn't score this time. Had 4 fouls, but he did lead the team in plus-minus at +7, so you can hang your hat on that. But still, it's good that we don't have the same guys doing it in each game. We've had scoring come from different places each night. Drew Eubanks and Nasir Little, I think, were the two so-called MVPs off the bench. Nas, 4 or 5, 9 points, and Drew, 5 points, 5 rebounds on 2 of 3 shooting. They played 16 of 13 minutes each. But Nasir Little looks like he is playing with a lot more confidence and just a lot more energy compared to the preseason. Obviously, it's still the preseason, but I think getting that new contract kind of gave him some more confidence. He looks like he is a little just relaxed. He's not going 1,000 miles per hour and trying to make every single play. He's just playing within the offense. And then he got his tonight. He got 9 points in 13 minutes. And then Drew Eubanks, shout out to both bigs tonight because Drew Eubanks was amazing as well. Him and Jock Landale were going at it all night, but he was huge in those 16 minutes to spell Nurkic some time. And he was just playing hard. And that's all you can ask for from Drew. He was getting the crowd hyped, getting the energy. I made the comparison to Myers Leonard on the Instagram Live after the game. But Drew Eubanks is a lot better than Myers Leonard because he truly is like, it's not just the effort. He's an athletic guy that when he does give the effort, you'll see the results a lot of the time. So shout out to Drew Eubanks. Huge game from him. On the Suns side, it was the Booker and Ayton show. But, I mean, that's what's going to happen. I would have liked to see us contain Ayton a little better. But down the stretch, we definitely did. Booker just got his. He just had a really good night. But other than that, Bridges didn't really do much. CP3 didn't do much. And then Cam Johnson, it was good to keep him away from the three-point line. Only 1 of 6 for the guy that is probably one of the better three-point shooters in the league. So huge shout out to the defense there. Let's talk about the end of that game one more time. I know I already talked about the Anfernee Simons shot, but the DeAndre Ayton free throws, Damian Lillard walking up to him and saying, "You ever been in this situation before with the game on the line?" Hell nah. And that is just some savvy stuff from Dame. I don't think I've ever seen Dames do something like that, getting ahead of the other team a little bit. But obviously, Ayton ended up missing that free throw, and the rest was history. But this game was just another sign that this team is different, and I don't want to overreact to just 2 games because it is, in the end of the day, just 2 games, and we could lose our next 4 and then suddenly be disappointed. But when I say this team is different, is they win in a different way. Last year was just, or in the past 6 years, it was just score more points than the other team. Obviously, that sounds stupid, but it's just like outscore the other team. We're not going to give you any fight on the defensive side of the ball. We're not going to win the ugly games. We're just going to win the pretty games when we're knocking down our shots and outscoring you. But we can win ugly games now. We really can. I don't know what we shot today. Our shooting splits ended up being solid, 44% and 34% from the field and 3. But this felt like an ugly game. And don't even get me started on the turnovers. Just the turnovers really made it an ugly game. We turned it over 18 times. They turned it over 16 times. I think we actually had 21 turnovers if you take into account the total team turnovers. Those are just the individual turnovers. But we turned the ball over a lot tonight, especially in that second quarter. And I keep saying tonight. I'm recording this the next day. But that's besides the point. This was an ugly game. And the Blazers found a way to grind out a victory. And that is something that shouldn't go unnoticed. Because this is a game we don't win in years past. Even when we were going to the Western Conference Finals, in those years when we were a good team, a 50-win team, we didn't win games like this. We did occasionally, but not against the best team in the league last year, not against a team that made the finals 2 years ago, and not in this fashion. So this is a different looking team. You absolutely love to see it. I mean, the trust, Dame said it best. The reason we won these 2 games is because of trust. That's the reason we won these 2 games. So that is just an amazing sign for things to come. I'm not going to say this team is finals bound. I'm not even going to say this team is top 6 seed bound. But right now, this team is playing like they trust each other, they love each other, and they want something big for this team. So I think that's going to do it for the video. Who's your MVP of the game? It's probably Dame, but who's your underrated MVP of the game? Personally, if I had to give my underrated MVP of the game, I'm giving it to Drew Eubanks because he was a huge energy spark tonight for the Blazers. So drop your underrated MVP of the game if you want to say Dame. I'm not going to be mad at you for saying Dame, but I want to hear your thoughts. that's going to do it. Make sure to subscribe. I don't know how often I'll be doing these post-game recaps like this, but it won't be often. Normally you'll hear all the thoughts on the podcast, but this was too good of a game to pass up on. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.